Hi, so welcome to my class today. What I want to show you today is how to make a simple dress, and you don't need that, you don't need zip, you just need the basic measurements. So I'm going to be using like a pattern. I would have used the paper, but the reason I'm using fabric like this is because I want it to be very visible to you, and you can see all the clear drawing and cutout. So as you can see from the intro picture, it's a simple dress, but it's very lovely. You can make that without being a professional. And the best part is you can even, make just that style and start your own fashion label. You don't have to be able to make every type of dress or design. Just learn to make the basic. So this is simple for even a newbie into the fashion world. So like I said earlier, my channel is going to be consisting of business tips for people who want to start their own fashion label, for existing owners of fashion labels, or for tailors if you want to take your business to the next level. So you need these tips to be able to have a sustainable business, fashion business. You need to keep adapting, keep trying new things. So you can use any kind of fabric you want for this project. In the intro picture, you could see I used dashiki African print. So, and I paid attention to the designs. So if you want to be able to cut your own dress in patterns like that, you need to use paper pattern first. So you cut on paper and you place on your fabric, or you just make sure you fold your fabric in a way that you can maximize the use or the design on the fabric. So you can use cotton, you can use satin, you can use chiffon, you can use crepe, viscose, any kind of fabric will work for this style. So for you to make that style, you would need, if it's Ankara fabric, you will need 4 yards. If it's English fabric, 3 meters would be just fine. So to start cutting, you need to have your shoulder, your half length, your full length, your sleeve length, and your round sleeve. So we're going to be assuming that this fabric I placed here is my fabric, my entire 4 yards of Ankara to cut this dress style. So once you fold it into 2, because you can cut back and forth, the back and the front together. Now I've placed this and I've folded into 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 unfold. So when you have 4 yards, you fold all like that, the 4 yards sideways. You want it to be long enough to have the drape, have it drape properly. So you get your shoulder first, you measure your shoulder. Okay, depending on your size, you measure your armhole. So that's what I just did, shoulder and armhole. Then your half length. So for the half length, normally I use, if your normal half length is 18, I recommend you use 17 because it's going to start from that point. So you put your half length there and you need to measure your bust. So once you've got your bust, okay, this is your bust. Now this is your waist. It depends on how you like your dress. If you want it to be free, easy to wear, you don't need to make a demarcation between the bust and the waist. But if you want it a little bit fitted like mine, so what I did was to take the waist and I added a little more, half an inch, to make it not too tight. So if it's stretched fabric, you don't have anything to worry. But if it doesn't stretch, then don't make it too tight. Don't make it the exact measurement of your waist. So once you've gotten that point, you have your bust, you have your waist, you have your half length. What you want to do now is just rule this out all the way to the side, like so. Okay, so you have that there. Now you want to be careful of one little snag here. This point from the waist up to the side is what will determine the length of your dress by the side. So you don't want to make this too short. So if your length of your dress is perhaps let's say 40, and it's going to end somewhere there, then you need to also make sure that from the waist out was that way is about 40. hence you need more fabric to fold to give you that, you know, dimension. So once you have that, the sideways, the length of the sides and the length of your dress, if they are proportionate to each other, you're ready to go. The side of the dress could be a little shorter, that's okay, but not too much, because if this is too short, you have your dress a bit too short at the side. So once you've established that, you want to do the neckline, so like a U neckline. So you take your measurements and you make sure it's like a U, like so. Then you create your shoulder slope and we'll go to cut. So use your measurements, it works perfectly. This is just like a pattern. So I'm going to cut the excess I don't want there. Yeah, I'll take that off. Then I'm going to come this way and I'm going to cut. Don't forget to leave your sewing allowance. So I'm going to leave about ½ inch that way. Then cut the armhole. So once that's taken off, this is what you have, okay? So you have something like that. It's very easy. It's so straightforward and I love it. So if you want to add a zip, by all means, you can do so. And you can also add a pocket. So once you've gotten that, you cut the shoulder. Now for the neckline, it's always recommended the back and the front is not the same. So I'll do like 1 inch that way, okay? And I'm going to take one of these off. So I have the front bit. So now I will just cut the neckline for the front. So you just cut around. It can be a bit tricky when it's so small. Yes, that is it. So that's what you're going to have, like that, and you have your dress pattern. So when you hold that up for a drip fabric, this just drips to the side. So you join the shoulder to shoulder, you get some lace trimming for the neckline. So you stitch the two pieces like that. So the shoulder ½ inch, the side ½ inch that way. That's what you want to do. So it's not complicated to create this dress design. So you sew on that and then you fold it down the bottom part of the dress as well. So for you to cut the sleeve, so that's about the dress. To cut the sleeve, you get more of your fabric. So it's more like a 3/4 sleeve. So what you want to do is to measure what you need. If it's a normal sleeve and you're going to have like 10, if it's a ruched sleeve like you have in the dress in the picture, you need to add at least 4 inches extra. So once you've added that, you cut that out. Right. So normally when I cut my normal shirt sleeve, I measure from the beginning to where I will cut about 6 inches. But because it's not a normal shirt sleeve, it has to be ruched. So I'll add extra 4 at the top plus the 6. So I could do between 9 and 10 from this point. So this is the fold. So I'll do that. Make it longer than usual. Okay. Before I now start taking my measurements. So at this end of this, you measure from that point downwards to about 1 inch, and you make the round sleeve, and you make the bottom of your sleeve towards the elbow. So once you've gotten that, add your sewing allowance and you get your scissors and you cut. So once you've cut that, so you notice that it's just a bit longer than your regular shirt sleeve. So once you have that, you get your sewing machine, and you do a double stitch. So the first stitch like so, then you do a second stitch like so, all around. Then you don't notch it, you pull. So when you pull, it ruches this bit. So once you've ruched that, you close the sides, you fold the bottom, then you attach this to your dress. So once it's been ruched, you're going to have something like that. So it fits right into your dress. And voila, you've made your first dress. So you can always tweak this as you want. You can decide to use 2 different fabrics, one for the back, one for the front. You can decide to add, you know, some designs on it, play with colors, play with patterns, play with textures. You can make it double layered. Don't be afraid to go for it. That's what makes you stand out as a designer. That's where you can always switch from being a mere tailor to a designer, because you are trying to improve on the basic concept that is known. So remember, you're not the creator of anything, you know, basic. The basic styles are there, but you always improve on them and make them yours. So if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and feel free to share this to your friends. And yeah, till I come your way again, keep stitching, keep sewing, and keep trying.